Hey everyone, welcome to the All Game Parrot. I am David and today we're going to be doing a Q&A. I thought it'd be cool to respond to some of your questions that you sent over on Instagram, on my community post or via email. And I thought it'd be good just so you can ask anything that you are curious about, whether it's bird related, about us, about our birds, and just respond to that. I plan on doing a live Q&A, but it's quite something that needs to be planned and I didn't want to rush into it. So I thought I'd do one like this before I tried that. So I thought I'd get started with my email questions and I thought I'd get on with the other ones. So let's start. So my first question is from Candice T. Hi. In your opinion, what's the minimum time a parrot needs to be out of the cage to interact with the owner? A minimum time I'd say would be 2 hours a day, but honestly, the more time you can have with your parrot out and about, the better. I mean, obviously you don't want them out 24/7, that's no good either, but the more time you can spend your parrot outside the cage, the better it is for them, the better it is for you, because you're spending more time bonding with them and you're building that relationship with them, which is very important. The next question is also from Candice, and that is, what are the tricks a parrot must know before attempting harness training? So there's only a few things you really need to know before attempting harness training, and that's stepping up, which is obviously very important. Target training is also very useful, so you can get them to target through the little gap in the harness, and also they need to be confident being touched, and you need to do a lot of training with them so they're okay being touched. Next question is, how are you and Sophie and the birds doing? We're doing okay. There's obviously lots of difficulties. We've had some harsh times, but out of those harsh times sprung our YouTube channels, which is great. But we're doing okay. All the birds are fine. They're being naughty as always. We're working on bonding the conures. The boys are their usual selves. We're sort of like trying to think of new interesting activities for them to do so I can make new shorts and so they can have lots of fun. So my next question is from Sarah, and she said she had a question about a sound her cockatiel makes. She's honestly not sure if it's angry, annoyed or baby noise. So she sent in a video which I watched, and I'm pretty confident it's a baby noise. It's not something to be worried about. It's not angry or annoyed. It's just something that they do when they're little. It's a noise they make. So don't worry about it. It's just perfectly normal. So now moving on to my community questions. This one's from Sophie. She thought she'd add that in there. And what is your dream bird and what parrot would you never like to own? So my dream bird would be a black cockatoo. I think they're really cool. I love the colourings they have under their wing feathers and stuff. That's very cool. What would I never like to own? I think probably a standard cockatoo, because they're so noisy and so difficult. So, I mean, you never know, but that's probably the one I wouldn't want to own. The next question is from Sarah Jaeger. You made a very informative video about sounds that cockatiels make, and it helped her understand how a bird feels. But are there any sounds you should be worried about? Like, are there any abnormal noises they can make? Well, I wouldn't say that. There's a couple of sounds you should worry about, and one that just indicates stress. So excessive screaming is the one that indicates stress and you should always be aware of. If your cockatiel's constantly screaming all the time, you need to work out why, because they could be stressed or agitated. Excessive hissing, they're constantly hissing, again, rocking back and forth hissing, sign of stress. And one that you should be worried about is any sort of abnormal breathing noises, like if it sounds strained, if it sounds like they're having difficulty. That's the only sound I'd really be concerned about. So this is another question from Sarah. When did I get my first bird and what kind was it? So I was about 10 when I got off my first bird. My parents got it. It was a budgie, and she was very cute. Sadly, back then I was only little. I didn't know what I was doing, neither my parents. So I learned a lot of hard lessons about how to care for a bird. Did most of the things right, but there's a lot of things we did wrong, like it wasn't a big cage, that sort of thing. But since then I've had cockatiels, I've had finches, I've had all sorts of birds. I've learned a lot and it's just very useful. So this next question is from Chris Valance. I'm getting a cockatiel and I've been doing a lot of research. When I go to the breeder to choose a bird, is there anything specific, behavioural or looks wise I should be concentrating on? With this, it's just one of those holistic approaches. So check that the bird's healthy, the feathers are in good condition, make sure they look okay, and again, make sure the breeder's reputable. But beyond that, you know, pick the bird you like, you know, it's something you're going to be drawn to. It's one of those decisions that it's more emotional than anything else. So make sure they're okay and just pick the one that you gel with. So next question is, what's my favourite animal that's not a bird? And that's quite an easy one for me. I like foxes a lot. I've written about them lots in my fiction. I like foxes because I think they're quite cool. They've got a bit of a bad reputation. I just think they're very nice looking animals and very cool in their behaviours. So my next question is from Lily BTS. Hi Lily. My cockatiel only wants to eat seeds. He's always yelling for seeds and always give in because I'm worried he will starve rather than eat his pellets or veggies. would a cockatiel overeat just because it's his favourite, or do they know to eat when actually hungry? So cockatiels will gorge. They will just keep eating and eating and eating if it's their favourite. There is a limit. Eventually they'll be like, okay, I'm done now. But they will eat an awful lot, and they can become quite overweight if you let them. So it helps to moderate their food. It helps them to encourage their pellets and veggies, eat their pellets and veggies. Sophie's got a video on how to encourage your bird to eat pellets and veggies, which I recommend you watch. It's really good. But other than that, yes, they will just keep gorging, so it's something to keep an eye on. These questions are from Jessie's Flock. Hi Jessie's. My questions are, can I keep my birds in an air-conditioned room? Because it's obviously very hot. And how often should I bath my birds in summer and winter? You can keep them in an air-conditioned room, but you've got to make sure it's safe for them. So you don't want them near any of the vents, too close to the vents, or where they could get themselves hurt. You also need to make sure that it's bird safe. There are some air conditioners I know that are dangerous, but that's something I'd recommend you research online. Obviously fans and stuff are safe as long as you keep them grilled and you don't let the birds go over there and peck them. With regards to bathing, it doesn't really matter in summer and winter. You can bathe them more frequently in summer because obviously they're hot and it helps them cool down, but generally you just want them to be bathing frequently all the time, all year round. This question's from Christine, right? Hi Christine. I have a wooden ladder in my cockatiel's cage and they are eating it. Do you suggest another form of ladder? Is the wood harmful to them, and where do you buy your toys? I know Candice responded about the toys, so I won't cover that bit. With regards to ladder, chewing ladder is absolutely fine. It's if they're ingesting it. So if you do notice he's actually eating it, then obviously that's not good. If he's just chewing it and spitting it out, that's not a problem. It's just something they do. It might be worth providing some more toys, chewable toys in there to discourage it. You can also get bamboo ladders. I've got a nice bamboo ladder in Pickles' cage. You can get Java wood ladders. There's all sorts of different material ladders you can get. So yeah, just consider which one you'd like and maybe try some different types. This question is from Paul Wilkinson. Can you feed conures wild bird food? No, definitely not. It's not safe for them. It is too fatty. It's not the right kinds of seeds. It's just definitely something that's not to be done. It should be avoided. And don't forget also, you want your conure on a mixed diet. So you want a little bit of seed, lots of veggies, pellets, sprouted seeds, all sorts of things. So that's a definite no. So Mariam Ali asks, are Cheerios good treats? The short answer is definitely not. They are edible by birds, but there's just so much stuff in there you wouldn't want your bird to be eating. It's like giving your bird a triple Big Mac. It's just not what you want. It's just full of wheat, full of packing materials. There's actually a pellet on the market that is similar to Cheerios, which we recommend no one ever eats, but well, I can't name names. And it's just do not give Cheerios as treats. There are plenty of other treats you can give in seed form, fruit form, that just much better for your bird. So I actually have another question as well from someone who wants to remain anonymous. It's how do you tell if your cockatiel is a boy or a girl? I actually just did a video on this, so please feel free to check that out. It's very good, and it sort of answers some of those questions about the important ways you can tell and some of the more sort of dubious ways you can tell. The last question is, what are my favourite TV shows? So that was a difficult one to answer actually because there's so many, but I really like Black Sails, really like Game of Thrones, like Spartacus, that sort of thing. So it's basically similar to what Sophie likes. We have similar tastes in that. So that brings me to the end of the video and the Q&A. If you have any other questions you want to ask, I do plan to do another one if you guys want. If you want to submit questions for that in advance, submit them via email please until I do the next community post. I hope you enjoyed watching this. I hope I responded to your questions as you wished, and I hope you have a great day. Take care and enjoy.